Check. 1, 2. Check. 1, 2. Okay, there we go. It's working. All right, just close that out. There we go. All right. I know you can't be a professional streamer, content creator without any kind of uh, technical issues, right? Now this is completely, yeah, it's coming in clear. Thank you guys. Um, yeah, I get that every once in a while. What I forgot to do, to tell you the truth, is I forgot to restart because I've had my computers going for the past couple days. So that's my fault for not restarting them to get fresh and clean before the stream started. And I knew that in the back of my mind. It's like, oh, I should restart. Nope, I didn't do it. I was being dumb. um, yeah, should have used OBS on Linux. No, it still would have happened on happened to me on that as well. Just be my issue that I would have to deal with. That happens to me all the time. Not all the time, but you know, you get the gist of it. But where was I? Oh yeah, yeah. This is gonna be a fun time doing the post production, putting all this stuff together. Um, cameras. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, it's definitely bollocks. But yeah, you can find a Logitech C920. It's a great webcam for $60 on Amazon. Oh, wrong scene. So if you want a webcam, really it's good. It's not, like I said, it's not going to be the best, but it gets your foot in the door. It is $60 for a good webcam. Now, if you want to upgrade from that and you want to stay into the webcam space, Elgato has a camera. It's the Elgato Facecam. It's a little bit more expensive at $150, but this, what you're viewing, is through an Elgato Facecam right now. They do have the Pro version, which is the 4K, and that is $300. Now you want to think to yourself, why am I going to spend $300 on a webcam? Well, it does do pretty good. It has 4K 60 capability, where you can do your zoom ins and crops and stuff like that, and 60K motion FPS. So you don't. If I was doing this, if I was doing on 30 FPS, it'd be kind of like a blurry motion between my fingers. So again, it's kind of like how you want to work on your gear acquisition syndrome. If you want to get the best of the best, you might want to skip the webcam tiers completely and go straight to a DSLR or mirrorless cameras, because those will set you back a couple hundred actually. If the body itself is probably around $500 to $800. My helmet cam works as a webcam if I want, right? And oh, speaking of that, and like GoPros are capable of being a webcam. Now there are a few of them. There's like a small range that you can connect to your computer via USB that have the capability of being, ready to go as a camera for your stream. but they do work. Now they'll have a little bit of the fisheye effect that GoPros are known for, but it's not really as pronounced. So it's something that you have to think about. Yeah, and your helmet cam works natively on Linux, so no external kernel modules, right? I think a lot of cameras actually would work too through Linux because everything is like the NVIDIA driver support, especially if you have an NVIDIA graphics card. There is an NVIDIA driver on Linux that you can use, or AMD. You can use AMD as well, I believe. Yeah, but with these different cameras, you have your different tiers. I should say. So you have your beginner, which is a $60 C920 or something equivalent. I would not go for anything cheap like a $20 camera, unless you want to go for that scuffed look, and that's what you want to go for. Or if you have a video encoder or interface for like an 8mm camcorder, or go that route, I'm sure you can do that, no problem. It's just as long as you have the materials necessary to get the video signal into your computer some way. So I know Epos Fox, he does a lot of like 80s, early 90s kind of style with their kind of content, their videos. So I'm sure if you look at Epos Fox and their community, I'm sure you can find a way to include old tech into your workflow to have that kind of aesthetic, I should say, which is a great thing to see. Is that not many people want to go back to, or I should say, retro tech, retro styling, because I'm sure you can take an 8mm or old Samsung, Sony cam, any kind of old camera from the 80s and early 90s, or 90s, I should say. And all you need is a video encoder, and to get the not the RGB, but the red, yellow, and white cabling. If you're of my age, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You go into the encoder, and then from the encoder USB into your computer. And again, it's going to have that 480. That's not going to be 720. It depends on which camera you have, but more than likely it's going to be 480 or 360p video resolution. It's not going to be the best, but if that's what you're going for, go all out. I mean, that's great. And I'm sure the retro tech is coming back, and people are actually hungry for any kind of content that looks like old VHS styles. So that's one thing that you can look for, is finding that retro tech and bringing yourself into that niche. And there is an audience for pretty much anyone and everyone out there. So it's completely up to how you want to use your workflow, and if you want to tinker, if you like to do that kind of stuff, because you got to realize, to go for the retro tech aesthetic, you're going to be spending a lot of time figuring out how to get things working with modern technology. It's something that you have to have the mindset of actually doing, and the patience, I should say, because the stuff like that is not going to be easily found, and it's going to be hard to come by, and maybe even more expensive than the newer stuff. Yeah, show me who wants VHS. I have plenty of tapes to sell them. Hey, you know what? I know. I just saw there's this guy. I think it was on Reddit or something, that he's obsessed with the movie Titanic. So he's trying to gather as many VHS copies of the movie Titanic. People have their things. Yeah, but VHS, any kind of those tapes are probably not going to be good, especially if they're not stored properly. So it's been ravaged with time, humidity, the elements, so they easily break down. Yeah, I know. I used to have it too, years ago. 2 tapes. There was yeah, Braveheart. Gettysburg was another one. So yeah, it's kind of nice to see that if you have the know-how or the patience and the resources to gather the stuff, I would suggest looking into like a retro style streaming or content, because it's untapped. There's a potential out there. Yeah, it was just goes black. You're watching it all of a sudden. Bloop. Oh, tape's done. Put in tape two. But it's one of those things where you really have to, like I said, have the resources to do the stuff that if you want to go with the non-mainstream stuff, avenues of content creation and live streaming. If you want to go try your hand, all the different things I've shown you right now would be perfect, especially on the cheaper end. It's not, I'm not saying that it's cheap. If it's cheap, it's crap. No, if it's cheap, it's great. Many people use cheap uh, products and equipment to get great results for their content. There is what's his name, Tyler One. I wouldn't, unless you like the screaming man-child aesthetic. He uses a crappy headset mic that let me give you a fair warning, headphone warning right now. If you watch any of his clips or live streams, it's yeah, yeah. There's also other people that use crappy cameras that just have it sit off in the corner, like on their screen. And then, of course, the rest of their stuff is the gaming. I've even seen someone have a camera focused on a TV as they play, and that's their content. And you know what? People love, that scuffed kind of production value. So you really don't need the best of the best or mid range or cheap. It's just something that if you feel that your audience, your potential audience, people that want to watch you or your viewers would like this kind of stuff, I say go for it. Your pencil was cheap and epic. Your mic you used was $3. I've known people who use, those old style, the desk. You would think like ham radio type of microphones that sit on a desk on a gooseneck. Yeah, I've seen some people use those too. And of course, audio quality is not the best, but it's just their aesthetic that they like and the one to go for. Pine Sill. Never heard that kind of microphone. Let me look it up. Oh, it's a soldering iron. Yep. Yeah, I just looked it up. But yeah, it's content creation and live streaming is really, there's no book or standard operating procedure of how to do things, and you have to go by step one, go to two, then go to three. It's completely up to you as a content creator to find out what works for you and what works the best for your audience, and just do a lot of experimentation, because really there isn't any wrong way to do it, and there's not really any right way to do it. It's just, again, it's experimentation, just to do whatever you feel like it works out for you. And I would suggest, if you want to try things, like, again, go as cheap as possible, or if you know someone who wants to do this, go give them the Fifine microphone that was at the beginning of the episode. It's $30, or find a microphone that's cheaper than that. There's other options, but the Fifine, in my opinion, is a decent microphone that works for a large range of people. Again, you're not going to have the stunning, beautiful, crisp, bassy tones of a Shure SM7B, but it's not a $400 microphone. It's a $30 microphone. So have your expectations lowered. And even then, sometimes this Shure can come in sounding like crap if it's not set up correctly. And you can spend $400 and everyone says, "Wow, you spent $400 on this microphone and it sounds like garbage." Oof. Bad investment. No, it's just because you didn't take the time. You didn't take the time to set it up. If you are going into a interface that doesn't have enough gain on it, because the Shure needs a lot of gain. Or you can spend $1,200 or higher. There's like $10,000 microphones out there that, if it's not set up correctly, will sound like garbage. So take the time and actually, when you get your equipment, take the time and actually learn how to use it and learn how to set it up correctly. And it might take you like a couple days to figure out what the perfect sound might be. Or in the case of video, the different settings, like your lighting setup can be different depending on whenever you do your recordings or your live streams. So take the time and do some experimentation and to figure out what you need to do to make it sound the best you can possibly make it. Because unless you're an audio engineer, the rest of us have to go by what it sounds like and everything, and what other people tell us, and say, "Oh, if you do this, try this particular setup." Okay. Oh, it does sound a little bit better. Thank you. It's just, that's why I like the content creation community, the independent creator community. It's very helpful. There's some outliers that are not very helpful or downright mean, but you know what? You can quickly see who they are and what they are, and you can ignore them and block them and say, "Yeah, pound sand, buddy. Your advice is not needed here. Be gone." But yeah, it's and that's the reason why I started up this indie creator and this podcast as well, is to like share information that I found in my experience, and eventually I'm going to be reaching out to other people, other creators next year, and try and do some interviews with them, and get their advice and their experience as well. And it's just something nice to put out there, that if I can help at least one person or help somebody, I feel better. I feel good. As long as I can help one person, that's all really matters. I'm not in this for, I got to get like 60,000 likes on my post or anything like that. No, I'm the worst one that does self-promotion. I can't self-promote to save my life. But I do try. And I know a lot of people are probably in the same position as I am, and just doing our best and going about it. That's why, like I said, I started up thisindie.creator.com. It's a forum and website and getting all that set up to get more people in there and share their experiences and resources that they might have seen or help them to better their experience as a content creator or live streamer. So definitely check it out. And again, this podcast episode will go as audio only portion tomorrow. Once I get done editing, it's going to be a little bit more involved, especially I had two or actually three different breaks. So I got to put them together, but I do as little editing as possible. I kind of do it all in one take. So it's kind of like the real experience of me and the Independent Creator Podcast. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you liked this episode, go ahead. Definitely leave a review, or if you're listening to the show on Apple Podcasts. Definitely would love to see a review there. If any other place and you have the capability to rate it or review it, do so. Like I said, it will come out tomorrow morning. And all different podcast players. You got Pocket Cast, you got Overcast, RSS feeds, Apple Podcasts, pretty much wherever you can get an audio podcast, you can find it. And also the video portion of this will be on the PeerTube. I'll try to get it on the PeerTube. I've been having some issue on TillVids uploading certain videos, but you can also view it on YouTube. But I'm definitely going to be working on seeing if I can get this posted up on TillVids, which I have a link as well to the TillVids channel for the independent creator channel. Well, with that, thank you for coming by, everybody. And I've been streaming to our own cast server at indiebasement.live and on Livespace and on YouTube. Well, except for right now. But the first part of this, it lives on YouTube. But yeah. Technical issues notwithstanding. But anyways, I'd like to say thank you for coming out and enjoying the episode. Until next time, have a good night, and I'll see you 2 weeks. But next week, I'm going to be doing like a special something. The hell is Livespace? It's another live streaming service. I have a... Yeah. Check it out. It's live.space. But until next time, I'll see you guys on the next one. Later, taters.